If it is the third month of the year, what can it mean?
Exactly.
Our reaction this morning when we were sitting talking to our producers about this, it's actually March Madness.
It
is. So the 2019 NCAA men's basketball tournament field is set, and it is time to break out your brackets. The number one overall seed, the Duke Blue Devils, of course, out of the East Regional.
The West Regional is led by the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The South Regional is topped by the Virginia Cavaliers, John Dickerson celebrating. And the Midwest Regional is rounded out by the North Carolina Tar Heels. It's all leading up to the Final Four on April 6th and 8th right here on CBS. This is actually a big deal for CBS because we always run these games. Bill Reiter joins us now. He is the host of Reiter's Block on CBS Sports HQ. And you must pick the short straw because you're the one that ends up talking to us, and we're we totally know nothing about this. I always root for Villanova because it's, Pennsylvania. I
always go for the Ivy Leagues because I went to Columbia.
But last year wasn't your team.
The University of Rhode Island, my undergrad, so I go for URI or an Ivy League. And this year, I know Yale's in it, but Rhody, not so much.
So, Bill, what we need you to do is make us sound intelligent about this. So let us.
I gotcha.
Let's break down the four regionals of this bracket and give us your takeaways. We're going to start with the East.
Yeah, I mean, the East to me looks like where you would place a number one overall seed. Duke is the betting favorite by a mile to win the whole thing. And as I look at the bracket, with all respect to some of the teams that are in there, VCU is interesting at times. You mentioned Yale. LSU is very talented, but has that turmoil with its coach in terms of him being, for the moment, suspended. My takeaway here, guys, Duke is going to roll all the money on Duke, certainly in the East. And I think on the West is where things get really, really intriguing for me. The Zags are a great team, and I think they deserve to be a one seed. But there's a lot of matchups there that I think could cause them to stumble. The Marquette-Murray State game, both of those teams are excellent. And you have maybe the best matchup in the first round we've seen in a long time, Marcus Howard and Marquette against John Morant of Murray State. I really like those guys. On the South side, again, I like Virginia a lot. I like chalk in that particular side of the bracket. You mentioned Villanova. Keep an eye on Nova. Jay Wright obviously knows how to get to the big dance, to the big game, to the Final Four. I like their road a lot. And finally, in the Midwest, one of my takeaways, and I actually went to Missouri. I'm supposed to hate Kansas, but I like Bill Self. I respect his program a lot. They're very high in the RPI, which doesn't really matter anymore. But this is a team that did not win the Big 12 Conference regular season championship for the first time in a generation. They have a very tough road. I think you can see some upsets in that side of the bracket.
All right, so are there any teams that you think were pretty close and didn't make it? Any snubs?
It's interesting. I thought the committee did a really nice job for the most part. I mean, they cast a wider net, and you can see that in the snubs that are significant come from the power conferences, which means mid-majors were given more of the due they should have been. That said, I don't understand how Texas didn't get in. We were told net rating, which is the new paradigm, the new arithmetic, the new process for the committee was going to be really important. Their net rating 38. St. John's probably shouldn't have been there with all respect to the New Yorkers in the area. Their net rating was 73. I feel bad for UNC Greensboro, but that's more the product of a couple teams like Oregon and St. Mary's winning conference championships that we didn't expect. For me, Texas is the biggest snub. Indiana's a bit of a surprise, but I like the fact that if there's going to be teams on the wrong side of the equation, that we've got some Power 5 conferences, which means some mid to majors got the respect they deserved.
So if I'm not rooting for Nova, I'm always rooting for the underdog. Any Cinderella stories that I should be looking out for?
Yeah, I think in terms of personality and in terms of play, Buffalo is a team to keep an eye on. Nate Oates is their head coach. 5 or 6 years ago, he was a high school coach in the Midwest. I know we throw this expression around, but this is a blue-collar, bring the lunch pail to work kind of a basketball team. They play with joy. They play incredible defense. And I think that is a team that could make a deep, deep run that America could fall in love with.
All right, so then what is your prediction for the Final Four? Let's get your bracket out right now.
Yeah, I like Buffalo. I don't like Buffalo that much. It's pretty close to chalk. I like Duke in the Final Four. They're by far the best team in college basketball. I like Virginia a lot in the Final Four. Kentucky, that 2 seed. Every year they're this talented and they're playing well at the end of the season, which they are. I like what Cal can do with his team. And I'm going to go a little bit of a surprise. They're a 2 seed. I'm going to go Michigan as my final 4 team. I don't want to go all 1 seeds, all chalk. I think the Zags will be dangerous. I think they're a great team. I think they deserve to be a 1. But I like Michigan coming out of that region.
What about you, Anne-Marie? I'm just kidding.
Team Nova?
I'm just kidding.
Team Nova.
Exactly.
That's a good bet.
For next year, for 2020.
You never know.
Bill Reiter, my man, always great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
And don't forget, you can watch Bill's show, Writer's Block.
It's on every Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. only on CBS Sports HQ.